What's going on, everybody? So I just wanted to hop in here and shoot a quick video about some CW etiquette. We're listening to a park activator right now, and this is a buddy of mine doing an activation, and he's had some pretty rowdy pileups today, and I've noticed some really bad behavior out of some of the hunters lately, and I want to talk about some of these things because it really does affect how well the activation goes. First things first, and this is kind of goes back to the DX code of conduct. Send your call sign once. I've noticed a tendency lately. This didn't used to happen. This is fairly new. I don't know if let's see if anybody does it. Where people will send their call over and over and over and over. Not just twice, which I guess I could see. Even then, that's a little ridiculous. But I mean like 5 or 6 times. Don't do that, all right? Send your call sign once. I want to work you, right? If you're calling me, I want to work you. Don't just keep sending your call over and over and over again. You're making it difficult for me to copy calls. If you're not a real loud station, I'm going to have a hard time copying you. If you're the one that's calling over and over again and you're a 599 plus 20, you're blotting out everybody else. And if I'm already trying to work a station, so this happened to me on Christmas. I was trying to work, I had a partial and I was trying to work it. And every time I would call back, in fact, it's this person, the guy who's doing the activation right now. He was trying to work me, and I would send KQ question mark because I didn't get the rest of his call. And every time I would do that, a station that was like S9 plus 20 would come blasting back on top of him, had neither a K nor a Q in his call. Don't do that. If we ask for specific calls or specific letters, please only answer if you have those specific letters in your call. All right. Again, we want to work you. We will get to you. Don't be so impatient. The next thing I want to talk about is tailgating. All right. Don't send your call sign until the QSO is over. I've noticed this a lot in this activation today. Listening to this, I don't know if we're going to hear it now, but I've been hearing a lot of this where they'll still be saying 7-3 and people are already sending their call signs. Don't do that. Right? A, it's rude, and B, it makes it very hard to finish the QSO. If I still need information from somebody and people are just blasting call signs over them, it's very, very hard to copy stuff. Okay? Let's see what happens. I don't know if that's going to happen this time around or not. His pileups thinned down. It was really, really unruly earlier. Yeah, I think it's thinned out some. But like I said, if the QSO's not done yet, don't start sending your call sign. Wait until you hear those ending dits. All right, that's your cue to send your call. If the station you're trying to work isn't sending a dit, wait until you hear, the 7-3 or the thank you or whatever they're ending their QSOs with. Wait until you hear that before you send your call. All right, and like I said, when you send it one time and send it as legibly as possible. I may only pull a letter or two or a number out of your call sign. The more legible it is, the better your fist is, the more controlled you are, the better it's going to be. Don't get all worked up and just try to blast out your call as fast as you can with a sloppy fist because it's going to be hard for us to copy. All right, so send your call sign one time. Don't start sending until the QSO is over. All right. If you're trying to work a pile on the activator side and people are being rowdy like that, it makes it very hard to pull calls. If you're a hunter and the pileup is super rowdy like that, it makes it very hard for you to work that station. So have a little bit of patience, all right? Along with that, another thing I've noticed lately is the propensity for some hunters to send things that aren't really relevant to the activation. Let me explain what I mean, all right? So on something like a Parks on the Air activation or a Summits on the Air activation, or think about like a DXpedition or something, we're looking for quick machine gun QSOs, right? I don't want to have a rag chew. If I want a rag chew, I'll hop on 40 meters at 7 o'clock at night and call CQ and have a rag chew, right? I'm trying to work calls. I'm trying to keep my QSO rate up. And if you come back and start sending me your name and, your SKCC number. Now, please keep in mind, I have no problem with SKCC. I'm a member of SKCC. I do SKCC contacts all the time. If I'm doing an activation, more than likely I'm on paddles, so an SKCC number isn't going to do you any good to begin with. And all you do when you send stuff that we're not expecting or at us, you do two things. One, you throw our rhythm, right? If I'm in a groove and I'm working stations, boom, 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 and all of a sudden you come back to me with your name and your town and what rig you're on, now you've just completely blown the rhythm of the QSO, right? Now my activation now is kind of gone off the rails and I've lost that rhythm that I had. The other problem is now you've slowed everything down for the rest of the hunters, right? So if there are people trying to work that station, especially if it's a station that's hard to work or they're in a rare park or what have you, you've now slowed that activation down, and you've got other people waiting in the pileup trying to work that station as well. So, you know, if it's dead, if there's no pileup, if it's an activator calling CQ, and it's at a speed you can copy, by all means, you know, if you want to throw some other information in there, go ahead. I have no problem. I'll respond back with name and, you know, what rig I'm on and all that stuff if I don't have a pileup, right? If I'm just calling CQ POTA and you come back to me and you say, you know, thank you, you are 599 Texas, name is Bob, I live in Dallas, I'm on a, IC7 7300, whatever, I'm fine with that. But if I've got a pileup going on, don't come back with anything other than the stuff that I need, right? I need your call sign, I need the band, I need the time. Give me your QTH also. I use that as a sort of a cross check. I make sure that your call sign matches your QTH in case I blow a call. But otherwise, don't come back with irrelevant stuff unless, like I said, if it's slow and I'm calling CQ or the activator's calling CQ and you want to throw some other information in there, go ahead. Just understand that if you do it in a pileup, it's probably not helping things. This is going to lead me into the last thing I want to talk about in this. This should be a fairly short video, but I had this happen to me multiple times yesterday. The QSB was really bad, and I would get a partial call, and I would send call ? Or call AGN, and I'd get silence. Now, I don't know if that's because the QSB was so bad that it would take me out, or if people weren't able to copy the word call or again, which is possible. You know, if you're a newer operator, that might be a little bit tough for you to copy. So what would happen is I would just send ? And when you just send ? everybody piles on because they assume you're looking for calls now. Okay, so if you're a newer CW operator, we absolutely want to work you. Please don't think that if you're a new CW op, I don't want you calling me. I absolutely do, right? I mean, I teach beginner CW. So I want, if you're a 12 word a minute op and you can't copy real well, by all means, work me, all right? I'll slow down to whatever speed you're going. But what I would strongly encourage you to do is learn some basic instant word recognition for some of those common words you're going to hear in QSOs. The word call, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Right? If you hear that, someone's asking for your call sign. Or again, AGN. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da. All right? As again. I'm sorry, no. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Screwed that one up. See, I'm trying to code talk and think at the same time. It's not working so well. Anyway, learn the word call. Learn the word again. Learn what a question mark sounds like so that if I miss part of your call and I send da-da-da-da-da-da, I'm asking you again, send your call sign again. Usually that'll be followed by a question mark. So you'll hear da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. That means I'm asking you for your call again. Or I might send call. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Call question mark. Okay? That'll help a lot as far as trying to make sure that we actually get a valid queue. So I had a couple yesterday where I had blown calls because I'd have a partial call. I'd miss the rest of it either because somebody called on top of them or the QSB would take them out. I would send call ? And I'd get silence, right? So I'd send again and I'd get silence. And then I'd send a ? And it would just be a pile up. So, you know, if you're a newer CW op, I'd strongly encourage you to learn some of those basic words. Aaron Bowman, W4ARB, calls it your CW vocabulary. Grow that CW vocabulary a little bit, right? Instead of trying to copy individual characters, learn what those words sound like. So when you hear them, you can come back, right? Because all I really need from you is just your call repeated. If I can get your call repeated, I can get you in the log. So, like I said, I may shoot an entire video on some CW etiquette in general because I've noticed a lot, or like I said, really bad behavior lately. And I don't know why. This is fairly recent. But like I said, send your call sign once, right? Don't start sending again until the previous QSO is over. All right. Like I said, don't send. Oh, he's calling QRT. So, like I said, send your call sign once. Don't start sending until the QSO is over. Don't send extra information, generally speaking. Like I said, if it's a slow activation, yeah, I'll come back and rag chew with you for a minute. But if I got to pile up, just send what I need, okay? And then finally, learn some basic instant word recognition, even if you're a newer op and you have a rough time copying some of this stuff. Because, I mean, I'm usually 20 to 25 words a minute. And I know if you're a newer operator and you're 10, 12 words a minute, that's going to be rough for you to copy. Like I said, I will try to slow down for people, but learn what some of those words sound like. So if I send da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know I'm asking for your call sign again. All right, learn some of those basic words so that if something goes awry and it's something other than just the basic formulaic, thank you, BK, thank you, you are 599599 California BK, right? Learn some of the other basic words in there also, because it's going to hold you in good stead when you need to copy something like needing to repeat a call or a QTH or something like that. All right, so I just wanted to hop in here and just real quick just talk about some of those things, because I think that things have gotten a little bit crazy with some of these activations, and I'm glad that people are hunting us. Absolutely am. The more the merrier. But like I said, the etiquette sometimes goes a little bit out the window. I think people get a little bit impatient. Don't worry about it. Like I said, we want to work you. I want to get you in the log. So don't think you have to send your call sign 15 times in a row. Don't start sending right over the end of a QSO. Wait until it's over. There are tricks if you're trying to get your call sign heard. If you're running a lot of power, be that first call out of the gate. Conversely, if you're QRP, you might need to hang back a little bit. Maybe don't tail end and wait until everybody's done sending, then count to 3 and start sending. But start sending towards the end of when that pile up's starting to die down. Spread your call sign out a little bit, right? Add a little Farnsworth, because I might pick up a single letter or a single number out of your call sign, and I might come back with that. So there are some tricks to get heard, but don't just send your call over and over and over. I can think right off the top of my head 2 or 3 hunters I had yesterday. One guy sent his call 8 times in a row. 8. Right, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Send it once, okay? And like I said, we want to get you in the log. We want to work you. But just have a little bit of etiquette. It's hard to run these pile-ups sometimes, and when things get really unruly, like I said, I wish you could have heard Santiago's pile-up earlier, because it was just a madhouse. And, I felt bad for him because he was having a rough time trying to run some of that, and I don't blame him. It was kind of bedlam. So, like I said, send your call sign once. Don't tailgate, right? Wait until the QSO is over. Don't send erroneous information. And like I said, learn some of that instant word recognition. Those 4 things will hold you in really good stead, and you're going to make our jobs a whole lot easier. So everybody, I apologize if this sounded like me complaining. I'm not complaining. I just feel like people need to hear it. I feel like I said, I don't notice it as much on SOTA, but I've noticed it on Parks in the Air a lot recently, that the etiquette's kind of gone out the window sometimes. So like I said, try to be a good operator. Follow some of those basic rules. And like I said, maybe I'll do a series talking about some of the very specific things you should probably do or not do, both as an activator and a hunter, that'll make everybody's life easier. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you take a little bit of that advice to heart. If you're a newer op, keep some of those things in mind. You're going to make our job so much easier as activators if you behave yourself appropriately. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you watching. And until next time, 7-3.